Well, here we are, online aunties, uncles, cousins. We are back. As you see from the title of this video, this is not what the plan was. 7 weeks ago, Leah had a surprise for my birthday. It was an early birthday vacation. And because it was coming up, I was just going to take that Wednesday off. Very simple for that week. And our girls were being watched by my parents. And at the same time, they were starting school back. We come back from the trip. I'm still on that high. And that's why I didn't post that Wednesday either. Because I'm like, well, why should I have to sit and edit for hours? I'm taking another break. And then the next week came and it was like, well, I'm about to be 40. So in my mind, I already had it planned. Like, you know what? I'm not going to post that week either. I'll just wait and do a live video to celebrate with my family and all that. That's what the birthday plan was for that week. But that Sunday, Amalah started complaining about a headache.
Yeah, because the Saturday, we had them outside.
Yeah.
And they were outside all day.
Yeah.
So, and, and Amalah has she kind of has a little thing when she's outside, in the sun and playing and everything. Even though she's hydrated, she tends to get a little headache.
Yeah.
So I was on that too. I didn't think anything of it. I really thought she just needed some time to recover from it.
What happened when she woke up on Monday?
She had a fever. She had a fever. She had a stomach ache. Her headache was still there, and it was worse than the day before.
So we kept her home.
We kept her home because we were like, oh no.
But I was still on the thing, just in case, I didn't even want to take it there to what it could potentially be.
But we kept her home because of the fever.
Yeah.
And because it was like, well, now we got to watch it because this could be it.
Yeah. Tuesday, she wakes up in the morning and it's worse.
Yeah. Now she's lethargic.
And the fever's like 101 or something?
Yeah. So it had climbed from the night before. And then she is not eating.
Yeah.
And she's not herself. It's very obvious she's not herself. So we were like, we have to get her tested. And then the journey began.
We thought it would be it was just simple. Because we've taken the girls into urgent care in the past. Especially in 2020 where the first fever we ever saw, we all were scared.
Yes,
we all were like, oh God, please help us. Let this not be anything, because that was the beginning of everything and we didn't really know how to take things. And so at this point, we're just like, please let this girl have any other disease than the one disease it could be. It's like, let it be an ear infection, whatever. Just anything that's gonna still keep her alive, but not be COVID.
Gosh.
Because you don't know what COVID is going to be like.
Yeah, COVID with kids is this really
foreign, weird,
gray area of like, okay, then what do you do?
And just to put this out there too, just to be real, Leah's had it. Leah had COVID last year. Mm-hmm. And so we already know the hard experience it was for her. Because you get the diagnosis, you ask them what to do, and they say, drink water and wash your hands.
Yeah.
We didn't want that to be the diagnosis because we knew an ear infection, we know the medicine she needs to take. Stomach virus, we know the medicine she needs to take.
Right. That's exactly right. And I didn't want her to suffer like I did.
Yeah, we had to take Amalah in to do the standard test. Now, Leah was the one on the front lines. I was home with nobody because Nayely was in school. I was going to say I was home taking care of Nayely, but what I was really doing is just being at home.
No, that's not true because he was at home, but I was telling him everything that was going on.
Right.
So when we got the test at the urgent care center, I told him that they only gave us they're only letting us know in 3 to 5 days.
Yeah.
And we both agreed we can't wait that long. So he was at home calling places to get us a rapid test.
Right. What was that first test like for Amalah?
It was so painful.
Yeah.
Because it was the one where they, I say they dig in your
It was this one. I got a picture of it here. That's the one. That's the one there. They're going in your brain, pulling out somebody from your past life, right?
Yeah.
They're pulling out who you were, your soul, everything out. And for a child, that you only want to do that when you absolutely have to, which for a child is never.
Never.
Right.
Yeah.
So she has that, and now we telling her, let's go on and do that again. And so the place I called, they said, well, first of all, you can't make appointments over the phone. Which is great to be on the phone with them. Here, you can't make an appointment on the phone. They're like, you got to show up in person. Here's the address. You can go there now. And so that's what I did. I passed it on to them. Leah told me this is a Walmart address. Mm-hmm. And I looked. I was like, let me just check that. I did the Google Maps thing. I looked, and yeah, indeed, that is the address of a Walmart. And I mean, you know, there's testing sites everywhere. So that wasn't too much of a surprise. So they went on ahead to Walmart.
We go there, and, you know, me and her having a talk about bravery, you know, and just, you know, because she's just, now it's fixated on her mind. Like, I'm going to be in pain, and I can't handle that pain. And, you know, and I'm feeling bad because, you know, I'm asking her to do it. And, you know, I know it was meant for us to help us know how to guide our care for her,
right? And
also Nayely, and then also like the school and all that stuff, right? Trying to be courteous and caring for the kids there and the staff there and stuff. So we go there, and I go up to the desk at the pharmacy, and I'm like, yeah, I'm here to, you know, I would like to do a rapid test, you know, like and she's like, well, you need to make an appointment.
An appointment. And after I got off the phone, and I was told on the phone that you cannot make appointments here on the phone. And so she goes up, first thing they tell her is, you need an appointment.
Yes. And so she gives me this paper, a list of things to do in order to make the appointment. So I got to go on my phone, make an account, do all, but you know.
Make an account, sign up for stuff. What?
Yeah, it was like a 10-step process. And, you know, I have a mask on, so you couldn't really see how I was feeling, but
which is a good thing.
The look on my face was just like a lot of expletives.
God wanted you to have that mask on. They didn't need to see your face.
And so I took the thing, and
during this whole time, I'm comfortably sitting at home by myself. being a good husband.
And so,
because I already made the phone call. What else do you expect from a 40-year-old? I'm about to be 40. So, you know, I can't do what I used to do.
And, you know, I even asked, I remember asking her, can I sit in your chair so I can do this? And she was like, that's really for the vaccine patients.
That's wild,
and we don't want you to spread anything, you know. And I just was like, all right. So I go and I stand up, and, you know, Amalah at this point, you know, she's just living her life. She's like, I'm in a store. Why don't I just explore the store, right? And, you know, she has her mask on and stuff, but, you know, she actually had energy, and I was just so kind of like, I was starting to get frustrated. So I was like, just keep your mask on. I don't care what you do. Keep that thing on. And don't touch anything, and don't be close to people, and you know, come back to where I am. And so I'm trying to do the thing, and you know, she's being good, doing what I told her to do, and I figure out what's going on, and then I go to the woman, and I'm like, you know, your dates are saying that you're not available until next week. I would really like to have this done today. And I'll go into the thing of why, you know, but I try to keep it short and sweet. And she's just like, well, you can do it today. We'll take you in today, but you have like 5 minutes to do it, because we're going to go to lunch. And I'm like, ugh. And then I just grab Amalah and I like drag her through the store. She's like, where are we going? I'm like, we're going through the drive-thru. She's like, why are we going through the drive-thru? I'm like, you know, I have no idea. Let's just go. Yeah. And so
little did Leah know that she was about to be a doctor or a nurse on that day. Because she was chosen. She was the one that was going to be administering the test on Amalah, who at this point is the same height as Leah.
Yeah, she is.
So just imagine two grown women fighting in the car wrestling, doing jujitsu, and all of this other stuff to try to force this Q-tip into the back of Amalah's brain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I get there and I'm like, okay, so where do you want me to stand so the nurse, can, I can help the nurse. And they're like, no.
They're like, no, look at me. Look at me. You are the nurse now, right?
They're like, oh no, we don't do that. You will be administering the test. And I'm like,
shout out to neighborhood Walmart.
I was like, have you seen my daughter? I'm like, she's the same height as me. And the thing is, the test this time is not just the one.
You have to go up both sides.
And you gotta roll it around for 15 seconds in each nostril.
All within 5 minutes. They wanted you to set a record. You know what I mean? Yeah.
And I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. And I look at Amalah, she just starts crying. She was like, I don't want to do it. And I'm like, I don't want to do it either.
But then ding, ding, ding. And then the wrestling match started, right?
Yeah. And so I kind of got a little, like, okay, just come in the front seat with me. And then, there was a camera.
I don't have footage. I don't have footage of any of this. I don't have footage of that.
Thank goodness. There was a camera in front, you could see through my windshield.
Right.
It looked like... Do
we need to reenact? You want to reenact the way it looked? I don't want to get hurt though. Let's not do that.
But I laid her back in my seat and I wrestled my daughter.
Oh my gosh.
And she won. I can't even lie. She absolutely won that match. We had about 3 of them, and she won every last one of them. And, sweat is so hot. It's like,
That should have sweated out the COVID at that point. If it was that, I don't know,
Man, it was... at one point I had her not in a chokehold, but I had this part on her, on her chest, and I guess I went up without thinking about it, and I went into her neck, and she's like, Mommy, you're choking me.
All of this is on camera.
Yeah, on the Walmart thing, and
it's gonna be on World Star.
I just after a while I just put the Q-tip around her nose. And because the guy was like, I need to count to 15 seconds and this and that. And I swear he was counting extra slow. And I think I heard him say 1. And then I was just like, forget what he's saying. I was like,
yeah, we gonna be done with this. Yeah.
I put the thing in there. There's something on that Q-tip. I have no idea what it is.
Whatever boogers are on here, you gonna test that.
And I just kind of chalked it up we're just not gonna get we're not gonna get an answer because I didn't get a good sample. I didn't wait 15 seconds. I didn't go up very high. I felt too bad to do it. She's like, you know.
Felt bad. I felt bad when she told me about this. Because while I was sitting comfortably at home in the AC, not sweating at all, I was like, that's crazy. No, I felt bad. Yeah. I felt bad because, I know my daughter, and I can only imagine what she was feeling in that moment after test 2.
Yeah.
And so I was fuming because I'm like, everything was going against what the people had told me on the phone. And then, but it took for Leah to say one thing. It was one thing that she said, in the midst of all of that madness, she told me about one other place nearby being the only other medical building she saw. And little did we know that medical building was the right one.
It was right in terms of the
not
name
the address,
of the building.
The name of the building,
not the address.
You would have had to go all the way up there with a magnifying glass to see that it was urgent care because they decided to put that in small writing on the what? Yeah, you couldn't ride by and know that.
You couldn't. You had to walk up to the door to know. But the thing about that is, because I got it when I did the test myself.
Yeah.
I drove in the parking lot because I was so frustrated I was about to cry.
Yeah.
And Amalah's crying and so we parked somewhere and I kept the air on and I was like, what do you want to do? I think she had her pad, because I was trying to make it as comfortable as I possibly could. And I got out the car and I called LaGuardia and I'm saying everything I could say, everything. And I was just so mad. I was like, I called that raging anger I get sometimes the she-wolf.
Yeah.
And I'm normally bloated when it happens.
Oh my gosh.
I'm like, it's the 7 months pregnant she-wolf was out,
but fully justified, because it sounded like they let us. It just sounded like they lied to us on the phone and sent us straight into hell.
Yeah.
Right.
I took it so personally, because I guess it was just like, so a year and a half.
Yeah. And we still not ready.
Yeah, we
are in Florida, but we still have high expectations. Still.
And so I'm running around here, there, and everywhere, and it's like, I can't get this simple little thing for my child, and so I guess, I was just frustrated, all that.
But the good thing is I was able to bring some calm in, because there was only one more place to go. Right. But one more hidden place that they didn't want us to find on the scavenger hunt of finding a rapid test. And I had to promise Amalah that I would give her anything that she wanted in the world. Yeah. And Leah was trying to get her to ask for bigger stuff. What did she asked for something simple. What did she ask for?
The egg.
She just wanted a chocolate egg. I'm like, yep. I'll get you that. Life is easy. Leah's like, no, is that all you really want?
I told her to think bigger.
I'm like, no, she wanted a chocolate egg. I'm like, you got it. Just one more test. And luckily they went to that place and they had ran out of tests.
Exactly. And I'm looking at the guy like,
hey, just another day in Florida. You know what I mean?
And then he was like, well, there is one place. It's like less than a mile. And I know I had this look in my face like,
if you're lying to me, I'm going to come back and find you.
Exactly.
I'm going to find you and I'm going to kill you. You know what I mean?
So I became a marksman that day as well. And I was like, okay, is it less than a mile? And he was like, no, yes. You just go down here and this and that. So I called the place because I'm like, I'm not going anywhere else. Yeah. And so I called them and they were like, yes, we have free rapid testing. You get the results in less than an hour. And I was like, you said less than an hour, or an hour. And he was like,
because we want all the specifics now.
Yeah, I asked him maybe a few different questions in 3 different ways, right? And so I go there and
we should have filmed them saying it too. At this point,
I was trying to find a way to record it, and I just
say that one more time.
I was too frazzled to kind of do it.
Had him sign a contract.
I know, and he was right. It was less than a mile, and I was like, Amalah, if we can't get it today, girl, we just gonna work with it. We just gonna work with. We just gonna take care of you. You just gonna be home and all that, and just call it a day. So, we go there. It's in a park, and there's no line. I thought maybe it was closed, but it was no line. The check-in is just like a barcode, and you get this code. There's no appointment necessary. There's hardly the check-in literally is just like the age and stuff, and they go and you can test as low as a year old. Yeah.
Best place that we ever found.
Al Lopez Park, Nomi Health was the one who has sponsored that site to do those testings.
Best testing facility ever.
And their test is the kind where they do not go up your nostril, they literally go around it. Yeah. And I did not even know that existed.
I didn't. Until but boy was Amalah thankful though.
Yeah, because the woman there who did the testing, Amalah was getting scared again. Because I'm like, it makes sense. Because at one point she was like, I want you to do it. And I was like, you do? And I was like, I don't think you want me to do it. I don't know what I'm doing. And she was like, because she was just getting frazzled and scared.
Because she had been through it 2 times already and it was the worst. Yeah. Yeah.
And so the woman was like, no, I'm gonna be very gentle with you, and it's not gonna take very long at all. And so I held Amalah. And she was backing up, but I kind of held her kind of, snugly. And the lady just literally did boop, boop, her little 2 strokes. Yep. And, she was like, that's it. And Amalah was like, because she held her, squeezed her eyes and she was so tense. And she was like, that just tickled. And I'm like, yeah. Yep. And so she was like, yep, that's all I really wanted to do, you know, and she was very kind, and we went on our way, and she was like, man, I did it. Like, it wasn't bad. And I'm like, I know. And so I took her to the store immediately, got her eggs. I think I got her about 4 of them Kinder eggs.
Yep. And we fulfilled her lifelong dream.
She was like
4 chocolate eggs. What more could a kid ask for?
She was good. Yep. Like, she was like, okay, I'm good with life right now.
Yeah. And y'all got the results right before you came home, right?
Yeah, it was like 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Or maybe like 20 to 30 minutes after they tested her, we got the results, and
unfortunately,
it was positive.
Yeah.
And
the only positive you don't want.
Right.
Well, there's a few other positives you don't want. Yeah.
And then we took Nayely out of school immediately.
Yeah.
And we let them know that she'd be quarantining. And so for, the next few days, it really was just like Amalah getting better.
Yeah. But from that day, it was always better each day.
Yes.
The fever, I don't think lasted. It really was just the appetite. Yeah. Like, after that point, like, she still was moving a little slow. She still had the thing with her appetite. Even the slowness. I mean, her energy was coming back, but it was just the meals. It was harder for her to even desire to eat as much.
Yeah.
And but it was like right as she was coming down, Nayely starts sniffing and sounding congested.
Yeah.
And oh my Lord.
And then it just
it was harder on Nayely.
It was a real journey with that girl.
Yeah.
It just became this slow snowball of